17 Texas inmates executed so far this year, and now the death penalty takes center stage in a Houston courtroom. Good evening, and thanks so much for watching 39 News at 5 in HD. I'm Katisha Cosley. Texas executes far more inmates than any other state, 464 in the last 30 years. The Lone Star State has also exonerated a dozen death row inmates during that same time period. And now lawmakers for an accused killer will argue that the death penalty is unconstitutional. 39 Steve Mark is live at the Harris County Courthouse with more. Steve?
It's a case that could very well send a ripple effect through the state and the country as well. Attorneys arguing that the death penalty is simply wrong, hoping a Harris County judge will set a precedent that will change the way courts conduct criminal justice.
John Green is on trial for the alleged 2008 murder of Wong Nguyen. The proceedings and outcome could transcend the fates of Nguyen or Green in what could be a landmark case.
There's always just been an assumption that because the Supreme Court has said that the death penalty itself is constitutional, that therefore there should not be a challenge. And I think this judge is giving us an opportunity to present evidence for him to make the decision.
Attorneys for Green cite recent cases where murder convictions have been overturned years later, claiming flawed evidence and faulty convictions. They don't want juries to be prejudiced into making the death penalty a default sentence.
The kind of evidence that in case after case has been demonstrated to be wrong, to be mistaken, to be flawed, and to mislead jurors. And the only effective time to do something about that is before he goes to trial. Because if he goes to trial and he's convicted and sentenced to death, there's almost no way to fix that.
State District Judge Kevin Fine has already questioned the legality of the death penalty, and for what could be the next 2 weeks, he'll hear arguments for the constitutional challenge.
In the death penalty now.
In the court of public opinion, there is already a groundswell urging Fine to turn down the death penalty option.
The issue of innocence is the one that's actually now making people say, whoa, wait a minute, what are we doing? Innocent people are being executed, and that's not acceptable.
The majority of the people who are executed are either poor, black, or Latino, and do not have the opportunity of what I consider to be due process. And there have been many people that we know that have been on death row that have not gotten due process.
Prosecutors say this trial should not be a trial balloon to rescind the death penalty. In fact, the DA's office doesn't even want to participate in the pretrial proceedings. One of the notables speaking for the defense as this proceeds, former Governor Mark White. We're live downtown. I'm Steve Mark, 39 News.